Yo, man, I know we keep talking about having guests on the show, but
we never had a guest
yet. Do
you want to call someone?
Yeah, I know we're about to do this dissertation video. But
yeah.
We haven't. I mean, are we going to interview the chair about the dissertation?
I mean, if we don't get a guest, we probably will do that. Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. I got an idea. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, remember that thing we talked about being on dissertation episode? Oh, now you can be here now. I didn't know you could do that. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah. I guess yeah. Whenever. Okay. Bye.
Well, what was that about?
So, I talked to Paige about being on here. But
yeah.
She said she could teleport, dude.
No, like actually teleport, like instant transmission.
Like instant transmission,
like Goku.
Like Goku, man.
All right, man. Is she coming right now?
I guess we just wait.
All right.
Whoa! It's crazy. I didn't know you could actually do that, Paige.
I mean, obviously, basic therapist skill.
It makes sense. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this new episode of Therapist Threads. I'm Paolo.
I'm Akshay.
And this is our friend Paige,
who just teleported here.
You know, special guest. Thank you for being here, Paige. Thank you so much. But yeah, so we are. I know we talked about this. But we are starting, this is going to be our first entry into what we call dissertation station.
Dissertation sensation?
Dissertation sensation.
Yeah.
We're not really sure. Maybe it's both. But anyway, so we got some questions here for Paige. Paige is here to talk a little bit about her dissertation, and we're just gonna learn from her.
You know, outside of her teleportation skills, she's also a great clinician.
Yeah, we've been in class together, so. You know, we co-led a group actually back in the day, and Akshay was actually leading that group at the same time.
Yep.
In a different group. But anyway, point is
that summed it up pretty well.
Point is, you know, we've had the privilege of working with her and seeing her work before, so we want to have her on and talk about a little bit about.
And she's doing great research right now.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just get right into it. So.
We got some questions.
Yeah, we got some questions.
You do. All right.
We got some questions.
We come prepared, you know,
at
Therapist Threads, you know.
All right, so
first question we have for you is, tell us about your dissertation, your title, what you're doing, just overall methods, whatever. Anything you want to share about it.
Cool. So my dissertation is about the lived experience of female programmers who are working in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Nice.
And it's going to be a qualitative study, which means that instead of like sending out surveys or things like that, I want to get in-depth interviews done to really get a sense of what these individual people are experiencing, and then kind of pull themes out of that to try to see if there's some more stuff that's going on. Not super generalizable, but really cool in-depth stuff.
It's so cool because I think just women in the tech industry are so overlooked in general, right? There's a lot like, I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a lot, like 80%, 80, 90% men, right?
And those stories are really powerful too, so I dig that.
Yeah. So. And it jives for me with the history of women in programming, where it was originally a women's field. And
really?
because of that, So, I mean, the first programmers were all female. If you think of ENIAC back in the day, those were women who were working on the software, and it was considered almost like clerical work. And that's why it was delegated to the women and why they didn't get a lot of credit for it. And then when they started doing some really cool things, men wanted to move into the field. And so there was a concerted effort to push women out.
That is
so they got swag jacked.
Yeah,
they did.
That's crazy.
That's totally what
I didn't
happened.
know that.
Yeah.
It is
That's
actually
good to know that.
a term, swag jack.
Is that something that you knew like going into the study, or did you discover that in your research, or is that something you already knew?
It was something that I'd heard about a little bit. My husband is a programmer, and so he was like, oh yeah, the first programmers were women. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I had no idea kind of the depth of the history or the ways in which women were really like pushed out in systematic ways.
That's crazy.
This kind of leads to the second question, but what kind of inspired you to do this research?
I mean, there are a lot of things that inspired it. When you're looking for a dissertation topic,
let them know what it is.
Push a lot of different areas. So first of all, I've got a background as a STEM kind of person. I came to this field from biology. And so I'd always been interested in women in STEM. And then meeting female programmers through my husband's work and hearing some of their stories about the ways they were being treated, overlooked, and some of the impacts that was having on them, I was like, okay, this is something that needs to be looked at. And so then I started delving just a little bit into the surface research, like how much has this been looked at? Not enough. And so I was like, all right, I guess I've got my topic.
Now, when you say, like, because I had this similar experience with my dissertation, there wasn't a lot of research. Like, how much did you find? Like, was it hard to even fill your lit review, given was like that little, or did you pull from other sources and stuff like that?
I was able to pull from other sources. It ended up being okay to fill the lit review. A lot of it ended up being one more quantitative, so like surveys, numbers from college board, statistics, things like that. And a lot of it was focused on undergraduate and the kind of leaky pipeline that goes on.
Okay.
And so the leaky pipeline continues into when people are employed, but we don't really care about that as much. So I'm trying to remember the exact statistics, but I think it's within a certain number of years after starting their career in the field, they've survived the undergraduate leaky pipeline. Congratulations. Get employed, and within like 10 years, it was 40 to 60% are gone.
Wow, that's pretty significant.
And so, there's something that needs to be looked at there, and it's also something that their experience needs to be told more there.
Coming from even in my family background and everything, having whole families in tech, like generations upon generations, I could even tell from like a lot of my male relatives in tech talking about experiences with female colleagues. Usually it's very transient. It's like, oh yeah, we had this woman in our team and then she just left. But then they wouldn't ask why she left or what happened or the circumstances. And from you saying like most women are pushed out, I could definitely see that level of women being treated in a different light in that field. I'm curious about like clinical work in terms of did you have any clinical work that inspired you to pursue this research?
Definitely, Actually, way back in the day at the clinic we were all at together, I had several intakes come in who were involved in the tech field, women involved in tech, not necessarily programming specifically, but who were saying a couple things that really sounded consistent that piqued my interest. Either I'm shutting down at work and it's hurting my job, it's hurting my prospects because I'm not able to participate and I'm feeling depressed. Or I'm exploding at work, I'm screaming at people, I'm lashing out, and it's putting my job in jeopardy and I'm feeling really angry, anxious, depressed.
Got it.
And so I was like, okay, this is really interesting. There's kind of a common theme here that I'm seeing among these women. It sounds like there's a psychological impact to some of these stories I was hearing on a more personal basis that's going on.
And on a similar note, what are your hopes? Like after this research, what do you hope clinically will happen from the impact of your research?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping one of the big things is just spreading a little bit of awareness about the topic. But another big hope for me is that clinicians will be able to read the dissertation or a summary at least of it, because I know how busy people are, and see like, okay, this work environment where people are really being kind of shoved out or being marginalized has a psychological impact. It's almost its own mini culture, and therefore could be dealt with in a culturally competent way. For example, like stereotype threat was a big thing that came up in my research that people experience. And one of the biggest ways to fight stereotype threat is to know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so as a clinician, being able to be like, okay, I know what's going on here, or a little piece of it culturally, and I can bring this to your awareness, and that might alleviate some of the suffering, is really big for me.
Have you noticed any shifts in, living in Silicon Valley and living in the Bay Area is a little bit different than living in other areas of the United States. Have you noticed any shifts in tech companies in this area in terms of accenting some female voices in their industry, or even providing psychological education for employees? Have you noticed things like that happen?
There's been a push towards it a little bit recently. There are some really good companies who are really focused on making sure that women's voices are heard, making sure that people are really included in that way. And at the same time, there's not really that psychological component to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a more practical thing, as far as I've come across at least. But I think that it's really cool that more companies are becoming aware, at least in the Bay Area, that this is a problem and it's something that they can do something about.
I was gonna ask, because I know you were saying that this has been going on for a minute now, like it's been going on for a while. Are you planning on, kind of interviewing women from different eras of those ages? People who might have been in the field, 10, 20 years ago, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and then people right now, and comparing what their experiences are, or is that something that just will come with whoever you end up interviewing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's one of those things that down the road, I would really love to do some compare and contrast studies. For the purpose of the dissertation itself, I'm kind of looking to get a snapshot of women working right now.
No. I personally feel like technology and psychology are so dissonant in terms of everything, and you're bringing not only technology and psychology together, but also even sexism and psychology and sexism and technology and every one of those things together. And I think it's such an important topic. So thank you so much for doing that.
I appreciate that. It's very validating.
I've seen a lot of Asian and Indian women in tech kind of being pushed out, being forced out just because of patriarchy in the culture. And I'm really curious. I don't know if you're also looking at even multicultural issues and seeing how culture intersects with how women are perceived, or even how they perceive themselves in the industry as well.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
I'm really hoping to get at that a little bit. It's going to depend on who says yes,
That's
they're willing to be interviewed.
That's all.
But shout out to anybody who might be wanting to be interviewed.
If you're interested,
Yeah, if
please
you-
contact us. Y'all know how to do it.
Or if you know anyone who may be interested, please.
Yes.
Y'all know how to contact us.
Yeah.
I think we'll put it down here in case you forgot.
Can I ask a little bit about the dissertation process?
Sure.
So where are you currently in the process? Were there any challenges or obstacles that you encountered so far? How did you overcome that? Just a lot of questions. Any tips, suggestions?
Cool.
Yeah.
So right now in the process, I am done with my proposal. Woo. And I'm working on getting IRB approval to actually be able to do the interviews.
Yay.
Imagine that. So having the proposal done basically means I've got the first 3 chapters, the introduction, the lit review, and my methods.
Yep.
And so now needing to collect data, do results, and discussion. In terms of challenges and things along the way, I think that...
Rant warning?
Yeah, rant warning,
Okay.
slight rant warning.
Okay.
Just calm down.
School does not make it easy to focus on doing your dissertation, especially if you're expected to do it while you're also expected to do a bunch of classes.
Clinical placements as
And clinical placements, and you have a lot of
And life.
directions. What, life?
Life, yeah.
What is that? So there is a class at our school, at least, that's supposed to be dedicated to kind of doing your dissertation, and that doesn't always work out. So the class that I was in was suboptimal for working on dissertation, to say the least. And what I found really important in overcoming that was not only advocating to the administration, which, please, if you're in that situation, don't stay quiet, it's just not worth it.
Empower yourselves.
Empower yourselves, absolutely. But also finding other students to keep myself accountable, to keep moving forward, and who I could share rants with, because keeping all of that pent up is just not a good idea. So yes, find an accountability buddy.
Yeah.
Accountability
See,
buddies.
with the word creation, man.
Right.
Word.
I can't take credit for that one. I don't remember where I heard it, but I
That
know
was pretty
it
cool,
wasn't
though.
mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, accountability buddies are key.
I like that.
Yeah.
Should have that flash on screen.
I know.
Anyway.
Accountability. I think I've heard it too. I don't know if it's a TV
See?
show or somewhere too. I'm not sure.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
It might have been one of the professors who talked
Maybe
about it. I'm not sure.
I ain't never heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But anyway.
No, it's very, very good tips. Any other like skills or things that helped you? How was the writing part of it How was it for you to focus on the actual writing? Proposal's not easy to write up.
No. Yeah, that was definitely a challenge for me. I kind of took a couple of different tactics at first until I found what fit for me. So I tried to write little summaries of papers, and I found myself just getting overwhelmed and distracted by that.
Okay.
It sounded like such a cool idea, so I was really bummed about that. But then someone suggested to me looking at the sections of my lit review as if they were individual little papers, like 5 to 10 page papers.
That's a good way to break it up.
And so I was like, okay, this is really familiar to me. I can set a due date for when my paper is due.
Perfect, yeah.
On stereotype thread or on sexism or whatever that section is, and write that paper, and then I'm done with that section.
Yeah.
And so that was super important for me to break it up, because sitting down to write like 25, 30, 50 pages.
Here's my 50-page paper.
Yeah, you know, it's a little slightly intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Versus 10 5-page papers. Yeah, I've written a ton of those in college.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in grad
Like, you know.
school, like, oh yeah, whip that out.
130.
Or 50 1-page reflection.
Oh,
1 page.
with sources.
With sources.
Yeah, with
What kind of reflections are you writing?
APA format
Oh,
reflection papers.
Pain.
Do you have any other questions, Paul?
No, man. Paige, thank you so much.
This was
We're actually about to film another episode with this, so stay tuned for that. But you know what? We're gonna save the shout outs for that video. Save shout outs for that video.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you, Paige.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Round of applause.
Round of applause for Paige.
Y'all, round of applause.
We're gonna have an applause track going.
Thank you so much, and we'll be right back.
All right, peace.